What's up, workman? Uh-oh. Todd's in the house now. All right, I'm going to give a few minutes to see if anybody comes online. I end up shortening this because I think I stood here for about a minute. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Hey, does it look shitty on your guys' end? I might move this party. Is the feed okay for you guys? Right on, man. Matt will love that. Okay, I'm going to move locations. See if that helps. The garage is wide open. Oh, I got some shots for you, Scott. Child almighty, settle down. I got some really neat stuff to show you guys. A fireball. No. Something that I got to show you guys. Okay? One of the subscribers made these for the tournament, and he's curious if anybody's interested in them. And when I saw them, I was like, yeah, absolutely people are going to love this. Check this out. Look at these spooks. Custom. How about that? I got one with red writing on it and one with black. And of course, it's red eye. Am I still pixelated, you guys? Hold on. There might be something I can do. Okay. Okay. If anybody's interested in these, check out on Facebook Shonka Lures. It's Shonka Lures. These folks live about an hour and 40 minutes west of me. They will be at the tournament, the Millers. Badass. Thank you for these. I do have more to talk about the Millers. So, I'm going to get started on this. So, I'm going to eat crow right now. Let's just get it out of the way. I had to move the date of the tournament. For anybody who that's an issue, I'm sorry. I'll tell you why in a second. But what happened was the state park did not turn in their paperwork for a tournament that they were having on May 1st until after I had already gotten a permit. And there's only a few places in Table Rock that makes sense to do this where we can have that many boats and trailers. If we get a full field of 75 people, it's really tough. There's a ton of ramps around where you could do 20 here and 20 there, but I wanted to keep everything together. And so the tournament is now being held May 15th, 2 weeks after that on Saturday from 6 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's being held at where I wanted to do it, at Port of Kimberling City. If you want to look that up, check that out. What's Up Dock will be the dock we're launching from, that area. And it's on a peninsula on the north part of Table Rock in a really good location. And it's a huge place, so it's not going to be overcrowded. Right on, Mr. Picard. Say hi to Dallas Rawson. At any rate, I set up an LLC for this. I will be taking payments starting next Monday. I haven't got the banking stuff straightened out because of the COVID yet. I have to go pick up paperwork. So tentatively, I'll be taking money on Monday for the down payment, or the whatever you want to call it. Trying to think. Right now, that's it. So the next phase of this, we're all permitted. We are ready to go. We have a tournament. We have a place, a time, and a date. Both permits, I got the Missouri Highway Patrol one today and changed it in one day. It took 6 weeks to get the damn thing, but I was able to change it quickly. So we're good to go. May 15th. I will be putting like a flyer on the Facebook tournament page that will talk about this as well. It'll have the info for where we're doing it, prizing information, and a lot of this is based on a full field. So the prize information will be based on 75 boats. So if we don't get 75 boats, all of that comes down. And it is what it is. Jeff, about 10 people have signed up right now, and I think that's going to change now. I mean, it's solidified. Yeah, Workman, good plan. Some of this stuff, and if you read the PDFs I had put on the tournament page, anything to do with like your fishing license and being legal on the water is your responsibility. The Missouri Highway Patrol patrols the lake. And if they happen to come upon you and you're doing something wrong or fishing without a license, that's on you. Yeah, it is $8 a day, by the way. And I mentioned it before, just due to, I think, the fact that a lot of people are coming here that don't just live around here. And I'm not going to do an off limits on Friday. But all I ask is to respect the fish. Don't set the hook like you're at the Bassmasters Classic if you're going to go out and pre-fish. I am trying to put together sort of a meet and greet. I think I talked about this before. This is still a reality. I'd like to do like a meet and greet Friday evening for those that are interested. And I'll figure out where that's at and I'll add that later. But it's informal. There will be no fee other than what you pay at whatever spot it's at to have beers or eat or whatever. Yeah, and you can also buy your Missouri fishing licenses online. So just depending on how you want to do it. I don't think you need a license for an 11-year-old. Jeff, could you correct me on that? From out of state? It's crazy. If you go on the Missouri Highway Patrol page and then go to regattas, where you have to do this, basically it's where they post all the permitted events that are happening in the month. If you go to May 1st, you can see there's 2 giant ones that were happening. And then you go down to May 15th, and there's something there every weekend, multiple events. And I should have known that. I mean, Table Rock, after all, is one of the premier bass crappie lakes in this region. I tend to think Bull Shoals is better. I'm just prejudiced because it's right there. Does anybody have any questions about the tournament? I'm hoping I have enough time before the tournament and all this stuff I need to do for that to recarpet the casting deck I built. It functions absolutely flawlessly, but it's kind of ridiculous that the tracker plants up the road and, you know, I still have carpet from Lowe's on here. So I'm going to try and fix that before the tournament. Is the feed okay, everybody? All of a sudden, everybody stopped talking. I just want to make sure we're still good. Absolutely. Enjoy it. Catch bass. Sam Adams. Oh, have fun, Todd. I'll check. I'll look for it in the mail. Jeff, is an 11-year-old, does that require a license here? There's more where that came from, Scott. But unfortunately, I can't get too tied down tonight. I do have to work tomorrow. So, hey, for any of you guys that weren't on when I showed these, check out these spooks for the tournament. Oh, upside down. Pretty cool. Check out Sean if you're on here and you weren't when I talked about this. I don't know who came and went, but Shanka Lures on Facebook. Check him out. He makes all kinds of stuff too, not just these spooks. It's way overrated, Jeff. But I did, yeah. Is anybody, I know about half of you, well, maybe less than half of you are planning on attending the tournament. Is anybody else in here thinking about it? I'm just trying to gauge, you know, my permit's up to 75 boats, but if I don't get 75, that's fine. Whoever wants to come with a tracker boat, I don't care what model it is, as long as it's aluminum. Yeah, the Rona, that does hamper a lot of things. I hope it doesn't hamper this. You know, it seems like a lot of governors all of a sudden are like, let's get back to work. I'm not getting political, but it's just coincidental, I guess. No. No, Jeff, that's not acceptable. I think we're gonna fill the spots, you guys. There's a lot of people interested. There's some other tracker groups that basically were giving us the opportunity to fill the spots of classic and heritage people first. That's where we're at. But yeah, I understand the sports thing, Scott. We're having a hell of a time finding a club baseball team around here for my kid to play on. That's all he ever did in Arizona was baseball, and we're trying to find a competitive team for him to be on. The team he was on in Arizona was pretty good, and I don't want him to have to suffer. We might have to drive to Springfield to find some competitive baseball here. Yeah, like I said, though, I will be putting up the flyer for the tournament on the Facebook tournament page, and I will start taking payment next week. And for the $50, I keep saying down payment. The word escapes me right now. But deposit, the $50 deposit, which is refundable. Now, the date's going to change a little bit, but April 15th, those deposits will no longer be refundable because I will have to pay the caterer around then. So, if you're on the fence, you can wait a little bit, but I don't know how fast it's going to fill up. It could happen in 2 weeks. It could take 2 months. Missouri surprised me, Scott. I thought it would be a lot colder here. Honestly, I thought by now we'd be just daytime highs of the 20s. But I was wrong. It was mid 50s yesterday. It was a great day to fish, I think. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little blown away that the weather isn't as bad as I intended it. I figured I wouldn't be fishing a bunch this time of year, and honestly, there's only been maybe a handful of days in the last month where you're like, no way. And it wasn't cold, it was wind and rain. Yeah, Scott, I'll get back with you on that. I will definitely, yeah, we'll touch base on that again. I'll be, yeah, no, it's probably 40, low 40s right now out there. Yeah, I mean, I'll take this weather all day. This beats Seattle, and honestly, for those of you that haven't been to Arizona, this time of year it will get cold at night. So you're dealing with the same temperatures, just a little more sunlight there. Yeah, 20 miles an hour in our boats is no fun. That's pretty much the threshold of, it's just not the day to be out there. Oh, hey, I'm going to do this again. So for those of you people that are on here, we have a very, very nice gift from one of the subscribers who asked me not to say his name. But we are going to be doing January's giveaway in the name of our first responders, our veterans, policemen, firemen, everybody is kind of encompassed in first responder now. But the gentleman that sent me the check to do this wanted it to be very clear that this was about them and not about him. And I'm eternally grateful. I'm going to tell you the amount right now because it will be the biggest giveaway this channel's done, but it will be $250 worth of things given away in January. It's pretty big. Hey Ronald, how you doing? So look forward to January's giveaway because it's going to be something different. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button. If you like $250 giveaways, that would be nice. What's up, Greg? Greg Vincent's fishing in the tournament. He's not signed up yet, but he'll be there. Hey, Wendy. Yeah, I was shocked, you guys, when I got that email, and I was kind of taken back. At first, I was like, no way. But the gentleman was serious, and you know, let's make this the best giveaway that we've done. You know, it's giveaway number 13 now. Yeah, Greg Vincent's here, Jeff. But be looking forward to that. I think I'm going to do that the end of the month. I'm fishing in a tournament next Saturday with Jeff for trout. So look forward to that action because I'm thinking it's going to be a good time. I've caught 1.5 trout since I moved here. And I honestly haven't trout fished in decades. Pretty much since I left Seattle. We did a lot of trout fishing in Washington. But I moved to Arizona in 2003 and I didn't catch a single fish in Arizona of the trout variety in that span of time. And I got one up to the boat with Jeff out at Taneycomo, basically trolling a crankbait for bass, just heading back. And I caught a trout out here recently, out right in front of my house. I was pretty shocked, actually. Workman, I don't think that's a terrible idea. I might have to reach out to that individual. By the way, I don't want to say this wrong, you guys. Give me 1 second. I'm probably going to say it wrong, but at any rate, if you ever need an LLC or your taxes done and you live in the southern Missouri area, check out Miller's Tax Service. They are the ones, that's the same family that makes these lures, the Shonka Lure Company. And Miller Tax Service is the one that drafted my LLC. And it was painless. By the way, this isn't a paid endorsement. These people are just very nice to me, and I thought I'd give it a shout out. I will leave a link to that in the video, as well as their Shonka Lure site, and then on Facebook, I'll do the same thing. If you guys have a minute to go look at his lures, they're pretty cool. He makes a lot of crankbaits, which, little insider info, crankbaits are hot here. Table Rock Lake is a crankbait lake, so Yeah, jigs are popular everywhere, Jeff. Ask Kevin Van Dam how he won the Bassmaster Classic at Table Rock, though. See, Greg knows what's up. There's quite a delay. I got my other screen going on here and about 4 minutes behind. Lots of fruit. What's up, Scott? Amen, Greg Vincent. Hey, I know that I've talked about this. Arapahoe. Heather, it's coming. Tabitha is worried about it, in fact. I honestly, you guys, the last 2 weeks, since kind of finding out that May 1st was a problem was pretty stressful, and that's all I put my time into was securing a date, a time, and a place, and getting all the permits for this tournament. So everything kind of lagged. Shipping for the last giveaway kind of lagged about a week or ish. I was just dead set on landing this tournament date, and it happened. So that was priority number one. And then once that all came together, just this weight got lifted off. The hard part's done. Now I have 4 months to make sure we have good food. I will need volunteers. I'm not asking you guys to volunteer. I'm hoping that the charity that we get involved with can have some people do that. Part of the contract I have to sign with Port of Kimberling is that we'll have ushers for the vehicles, or, parking attendants. So I don't know how many. I mean, it probably depends on the field, but there's a lot of little moving parts that go into this that I didn't really think about. I didn't think about parking attendants until I got the contract. I got to get insurance for the tournament for 1 day to the tune of a $500,000 policy, which I'm not worried about that. That's not a big deal. But, just these little things that, take a few days at a time. And, the big thing for me right now moving forward is going to be sponsorship. I would like to get a ton of items to raffle off or to, in part, give to people for prizes for, whether it be first, second, third, or, things like that. So I think I'm not sure if I talked about it last time, but I did throw in we were going to have 2 big bass payouts, a big crappie payout, and it's a 3 fish limit. They all have to be, whether it be a Kentucky bass, smallmouth, or largemouth, they all have to be 15 inches or bigger, which that time of year, it should be a non-issue for everybody. But I'm just going to take a guess here. Let's see, I'm going to say it's going to take 14 pounds to win this thing. It's recorded, so we'll find out if I was even close. Can anybody else hazard a guess at what they think the weight might be for a 3-fish bass tournament at Table Rock? I honestly, Scott, I didn't think about that angle, only because the money is going to charity, and the rest, 100% of it's going away, whether it be food, charity, or the prize pool. So 75 into the prize pool, 75 to charity, and $50 to for food. And that's based on 2 people, but that's just the way it's gonna be. 15 plus for 3 fish, Jeff. You might be onto something. You got to remember, the guy talking to you right now has never caught a 5-pound bass, so that puts me way out of the running, unless I get super lucky, which I think I mentioned before. I'm really tossing around the idea of not fishing. If the field is 75 boats, I'm probably not going to fish. I'll probably cruise around after everybody's said and gone and out fishing and just check things out. But I think it would be selfish for me to fish during this time. I'll tell you what, too. This is on film. If anybody catches a bass over 10 pounds, I will personally give them a $100 bill. Me too, Workman. 478 is my biggest largemouth. And it's crazy because Arizona does have some big fish. In fact, I believe the largemouth record in Arizona is about 3.5 pounds bigger than the largemouth in Missouri. They do get big. I mean, it's warm there. They have the good temperate water system to create big bass, but it's just so much pressure. The lakes aren't that big, and there's tournaments every weekend. And there's a lot of good fishermen out in Arizona. A lot. Yeah, Jeff, I think a lot of people are coming to win some cash. I don't know. I don't know how interested they are in fishing with the legend. I'd like a legend boat, though. Somebody wants to, if Legend is watching this, I would love to have one of your boats. Yeah, there's 200 and I'm right around 280 people in the Facebook tournament page now. I seriously doubt a quarter of them are really coming to the tournament. I could be wrong, but there's definitely not enough room for 270 people. Scott, we'll talk about that more. That could be a reality. This is why I ask questions, because my mind never went there. I haven't. I'm not aware of anybody that said they can't come for financial reasons. Most of them, it's just timing, work, and things like that. And and I think a lot of people are on the fence too about COVID. What's going to happen? Nobody knows. I still don't think we know what's going on. We're so far behind. We think we're in first place. Yeah, Scott, I'll definitely reach out to you. That's a good idea. I appreciate it a great deal, and let's. Yeah, I think that's what he's getting at, Jeff. We'd have to come up somehow with a something we could put on Facebook, like advertising that. So, I, Scott, you're the one doing it, but I'm just going to throw out this idea. Maybe have a high school age team write a letter why they should get the $200 entry instead of somebody else, or maybe talk about their vision for fishing in the future. Hey, teach a kid how to fish, and you won't have to worry about feeding them. Ah, I I like that, Scott. I think that's a great. We're going to talk more about that. I think that's a. I appreciate your offer, and I think that we should take that seriously. I think that'd be neat. I will. Trying to think of when we can do that. I need to get on the ball pretty fast with that. I think when I make the flyer that's going up on Facebook, I will. I'm either going to piggyback off of that and make a second flyer, or include it a little bit and then add to it later. But I think that that's a fantastic idea. And thanks again, Scott. That's pretty special. Hey, Jim. Mom. The tournament is solidified. We are having it on May 15th. That's a done deal. So, I don't know if you heard it, but check it out, Scott. It's that we're having it at Port of Kimberling City at What's Up Dock. It's a huge marina. Like Jeff alluded to earlier, they do have bass, like professional bass tournaments go off out of there. There's plenty of room. And I would like to lock that up as soon as we can, Scott. Because I really can't go over the 75 boat limit. So I could just say there's 74 spots and we're pending one for a collegiate or high school team that writes the best letter. Congratulations, Jeff. That's awesome. Hey, Peter, how you doing? I just keep staring at this guy. I want to catch a fish with it. It's really not that time of year, but the top says inaugural bass tournament 2021. These are custom made for this event, folks. The guy that made them at Shanka Lures asked me if he thought people would want them. And I think he's asking, I mean, honestly, I think he's asking just to see if the interest, if he's going to make them. I think these are, I mean, they're pretty legit. And I think they're time state, you know, they take a lot of time to make them. So I think he's wants me to feel it out and see if you guys are interested, if you would want to buy something like this. I don't know. He didn't tell me. He just sent me two, and I thanked him very much and told him, you know, hell, I thought they were so cool. I was going to mention it more than once. Like I said, if you want to reach out to Mr. Miller, it's Shonka Lures on Facebook, Shonka. And I'm sure he'll help you out. If you mention me and the tracker spook lure, I'm sure he'll know exactly what you're talking about. Jeff, you got to work into a daily budget. Honestly, Ronald, no, I didn't. I didn't think about that. I think partially, I'm shooting off the cuff here, but I think partially my mind didn't go there due to the fact that a lot of people are coming from a fair distance. It's just another thing they'd have to deal with. But I know people are totally charitable, and buying some canned food is not a big deal. But I think at the price point that this tournament's at, I feel like that we're good. I think we're good right now on that. Yeah, it's because you spent $3,000 right before Christmas, Greg. I'm on it, Scott. I think it's a great idea. I think it's very, very generous of you. Fair enough, Jeff. Yeah, and Workman, yes, it's a great idea. And I think that every tournament should have a different flavor and a different charity involved. This one I've already kind of solidified, so I'm going to keep that. But yeah, moving forward and any other events, any kind of charitable situation is where it's going to be at. So whether it be a regional thing and I go do one in Florida or the Northeast or the Pacific Coast, regardless of where it's at, it's going to be a charitable event. And it's just something I've talked about for years and couldn't figure out how to generate excitement about it. And I think we're on the cusp of creating something big here where not only can we have a good time, but we can give back. It's going to be a tough egg to crack, Jeff, but I'm going to try. I am definitely going to bend their ear. Definitely not Alamo. Lake Havasu would be cool. Lake Roosevelt. I would if I was going to do one in Arizona, Jim, I would do it at Lake Roosevelt. 100%. Havasu's kind of out there. I think I'd give the California folks a crack doing like Clear Lake or Shasta Lake or one of those Northern California lakes. Absolutely, Scott. I will be in touch. So much for me. Yeah, Scott Nicholas just did, but it is kind of nippy out. Notice, Fireball should only be drinking when the bottle is frosty. Yeah, it's kind of a myth, though, Jeff. Just saying. The alcohol tricks your mind into believing everything's all good, and then you freeze to death. Besides Jeff, Mark is not calling in tomorrow. No, he's not. No, I got a little time left. But no, I'm not. I'll be at work. I've only had a little sniff tonight. But and it's early. I have banker's hours now, so it doesn't really matter if I stay up till midnight. Another Judas Priest. Saturday fishing, yes. Oh, it was in my freezer in the kitchen. But it's like right at that temperature right now outside that just kind of keeps it frosty. Yes, Jeff. Saturday or depending on the weather. It's supposed to get crappy here tomorrow. So if it's shitty Saturday, I'll be at Taneycoma on Sunday. I have literally one day to figure out how to catch trout in that lake before the tournament next weekend. Oh, Jeff, I bought an insurance policy for cold weather last Friday with Baby T. We went up to Springfield and did some shopping. I got coveralls. I got new fleece crap. I got fleece boots. Like, I am ready to freeze. I agree with that, Greg. I can show that. I don't care. What's up, Gilbert? Yeah, productivity is about to happen. I think that I'm so fortunate that, I could wake up in the morning and it'd be crappy in the morning. And as soon as the sun breaks out or it stops raining, I can be in the water in 15 seconds. Take it easy, John. I can't ever, like, if there is a minute of free time and a decent day, the boat's in the water. I did get skunked for the second time. I have now been skunked twice on Bull Shoal since I moved here. And I was out there the other day for quite a while, about 4 hours, and nothing. Excuse me. Child, the fireball. I know there's some of you that probably live in places where your boat is like, you're not putting it in the water till March, April, and I feel for you guys. You're more than welcome to come down fish Bull Shoals with me. It's not going anywhere and it's not going to freeze over. I agree, Workman. 100%. You get out. I kind of going fishing and not catching fish and being out there for 4, 5, 6 hours, however long. I kind of equate it to that same, going on a road trip. Getting in your car and driving for hours by yourself. Music gets old. You usually throw in a chew and think about a whole bunch of crap you normally wouldn't think about. And then the lake's the same way. Yes, very much therapy. I hit my head a lot as a kid. Yeah, Scott, I'm about 15 seconds from the ramp. It's extremely convenient, and again, I feel incredibly lucky to have a family that was down to just uproot from everything they knew and come here. That's okay. That's okay. Tomorrow's going to be nasty, Jeff. You guys are nuts. Yeah, it's and honestly, you guys, I'm going to show you. So, the rig is backed up exactly where it needs to be. Watch. Oh, child. Okay, watch. And we're now ready to go to the lake. Obviously cranking it down and etc. But it's pretty convenient. Oh shit. Okay, sorry about that. This is a good weekend to work, dude. As long as you don't have to be outside a whole bunch. I think this is going to be a good weekend not to fish. Oh, God. That reminds me, tomorrow night, I think I got to spend the majority of the night stripping a lot of the rods of their line to go lighter. It's that time of year. I put a couple rods have 8-pound test, but I got to do some rigging up for some trout stuff that we're going to dumb it down to a 4-pound test from the 8-pound. That's the move. Yeah, you always need fuel in the bank account. I just does it freeze where you're at, Workman? Like, do you guys ice fish where you're at? Yeah, I got 4-pound fluoro right there, and then 8-pound P line right there. I always got one of these laying around. Everybody loves these. Yeah, I understand that. I've never been ice fishing. I really want to do that. But as a heftier individual, ice fishing's kind of scary. Oh, that brings up a good point. So in this trout tournament next weekend, they no artificial bait, period. No eggs, no marshmallows, worms. You can't even use plastic trailers of swim baits, or it's got to be like an inline spinner, a fly, sinking minnows, which I have some. You know, stuff like this. You got a MEPS, a couple different sinking Rapalas, very small profile. I mean, like 2 inches. Oh, I got some marabou jigs, but those are in the boat. Those have a dual purpose. So I've been doing some research on the stripers, and apparently they too like the marabou jig as well as the walleye. Oh, I got a whole slew of crappie jigs. In like a marabou jig, but crappie sized. The marabou jigs I have are pretty big. And I got some hair jigs. So, at any rate, check this out too, you guys. I don't see red spinner baits very often, but I saw this little guy and I thought I'd pick him up. It's the Booyah Pond Magic, which it's about, oh shoot, I'd say 40% smaller than a normal spinner bait, but those colors just got my attention. Red on lakes with a lot of rock on them. Red is a great color to use, especially in the wintertime. Oh, I'm sure they all make them. It caught my eye. I was walking by and I'm like, hey, and it even has the red blade. So I thought, hell, I'll give that a try. It's probably more of a crappie lure, to be honest with you. You can get into a good school of crappie. I'll bet you'll pick some up with that. The other thing I'm really disappointed about, Yingling is supposed to be available west of the Mississippi as of a couple weeks ago. I have not seen Yingling here. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. If I want the damn Yingling, which it's about a half hour that way. Yeah, I've been stocking up on red. I've been picking up a red jig here or there. I've been picking up Yingling comes from Pennsylvania and Tampa Bay. By the way. Oh, that's the work phone going crazy over there. You hear that? Ding, ding. I've only caught one crappie since I've lived in Missouri, and it was at Table Rock the day I fished with Jeff and Greg. It was a decent crappie. It was a keeper, but I have yet to see a crappie in my lake. Oh, I got a whole box of those, Workman. I need to make them work though. I did. I watched I forget who did the video, but it was how to present a lipless crankbait. And for the most part, I didn't use them a lot in Arizona. I didn't different lures for different situations. So I had them, I just didn't use them. And now when I came out here, it makes sense. But I never thought about all the different retrievals that you can do with a lipless. I thought you just casted it out there, let it sink, and burned it back. That's not always true. You can treat it like a jig, let it fall, rip it, reel in the slack, let it go for a minute, rip it again. I'll find the damn crappie. I'm more interested in catching big bass than I am crappie. Eventually I'll find them. And now that we have deep fryers at the house, we will be eating those crappie. Oh my God. Why is the work phone going crazy? Yeah, but I think my affinity with the Yingling is for the fact that I can't get it. And it was even worse when I was on the West Coast. You're further away from the Yingling, but honestly, I can go down to Harrison, Arkansas, and an hour 10 round trip and buy as much Yingling as I could fit in the Audi. Oh, the elusive 5-pound bass is going to get shattered, Jeff. I'm going to shatter my PB this year. That is a guarantee. I need to do it because look at this. I still got the mohawk, you guys. And I can't shave it off until we get a 5+ pound bass. So we got to do that. It's inevitable. Yes. Yes, I have caught fish in the last couple weeks drop shotting. At least one drop shot fish in outing. It's kind of a new technique to me. I didn't do it a lot in Arizona. I did a lot of pitching and the toolies, crankbaits, spinner baits. But drop shotting is kind of a new method to me in the last couple of years. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But I've been getting a lot. Greg, where did the record come out of? The record bass for Missouri. What lake? I think I'm in the right spot. I don't know if he knows or not. He probably doesn't watch this. I'd like to think that I'm the boss, by the way, Scott. In fact, I am now. I am not only the president, but I'm the owner of MJB Fishing LLC. Almost a 14 bass came out of Bull Shoals. I know where that happened, and that's quite a ways from here. That's about 40 miles down lake from where I live. But bass can be anywhere. You just got to find them. Who knows? Hey, if I catch my PB on this Bass Tracker Classic lure, where are we at? I think the key to catching big fish isn't always technique. It's time on the water. It's giving yourself opportunities. You could go around some of the biggest lakes in the country and fish all day and not catch anything because you didn't put the lure in front of a fish. Oh yeah, the shad, like back in November, October, like you couldn't look out at the lake and not see shad going bananas in different spots, and that's just, you're talking about an 80-mile lake, and I'm talking about an eighth of a mile of it, and all you see is shad going bananas, and that's just right here. It's probably on. Yeah, and you do kind of have to be slow and methodical when you're drop shotting, especially when you're at the bank and you're, for the most part, probably reeling uphill, because that little drop shot wants to touch everything as it's dancing across the bottom. It's hitting everything. So I don't get too beat up. Like if I'll break off a drop shot in 2 seconds to save my aggravation of driving around trying to unhook it. I mean, one hook and one little drop shot weight. And guys, I have both styles, but these drop shot weights, I want to show it to you. For those of you that don't know, they came from Walmart. They're like this Ozark brand. And they come in colors. Obviously, the paint's coming off. But this is what I've been using for drop shotting. And the distance between oh God, I reeled it right through the shank. That was classy. I've been using these chompers. It's about a 5-inch worm. In green and black flake. But these weights, you can buy them for a fraction of what you're gonna pay for. And like I have 2 drop shot rigs set up actually. Where's this guy? Oh man, I'm making a mess. Anyway, you got your standard issue lead, and that costs twice as much as one of these. And guess what, folks? They do the same thing. The electronics I'm running on the front. Okay, here, let's back up. What electronics am I running? I got the wrong device, you guys. I'm carrying around the iPad. Child almighty. As of Christmas, Scott, well, pre-Christmas, more like Thanksgiving, I've added the Garmin 93SV fish finder to the front on the Panther deck mount that gives it about 5 inches more height off the deck. And then, of course, the Chirova. That thing's going to load whether I want it to or not. Yeah, the other, check this out. This is also by Chompers. Guys, if you can find them, I don't know if I have a package right around here, but these Chompers drop shot lures are money. Very garlicky. This one's got a brown and like a shad pattern blue. This one's hot. The Kentucky bass love this guy. Well, yeah, there's a few in here in the kit, Greg. We got what? Basically 5 of each flavor. You got an 1/8 ounce, 3/16, and 1/4 ounce. Typically, when I'm drop shotting, I don't do anything less than a 1/4 ounce. You ultimately you want that bait to get to the bottom as fast as possible. Very super rare you're going to catch a bass on a drop shot retrieving it or dropping it. There's just a lot going on there. You want that bait to hit the bottom where you want it as fast as humanly possible and let it sit there. And literally that worm's just floating. I've had success recently on wacky rigging a drop shot. Recently, I just saw that guy somewhere around here. Where'd he go? I caught a bass right here. Wacky rigging a Z-Man Ned rig bait. Right through the middle here. That thing just sits there and does this and they eat it. Oh, Scott, put that thing in. It's easy. I avoided it with this trolling motor for well over a year of ownership of it, and I kick myself every day for not upgrading sooner. And I'm kind of glad I waited in a way because I would have bought another Lowrance back when they were on sale. But I really do like this Garmin. It's pretty damn good for $5.99. It's hard to beat. It's really hard to beat. Go-to lure. I'm going to show you guys my confidence lure right now. He's right here. This is a 1/4 ounce Z-Man micro jig. They come in a 2-pack for like $5. It's kind of spendy for a little jig. But I'm telling you, I've been whacking them since the day I moved here on it with the speed shad, basically in a shad pattern. Absolutely. Yeah, Greg. The Panther mount's about $80. And it brings the monitor up quite a bit here. As you can see, like, this is 5 inches from here to here. And then the monitor's probably up another 5. I mean, it's a smooth 10 inches off the deck. Whereas if you just use this, you're going to be about 4.5, 5 inches off the deck. I can probably turn it off now. You got to hold it down till that red. Done. I tried all kinds of stuff with my other fish finders. I had all kinds of armatures like this. This kind of stuff going on to bring the monitor way up off the ground. I mean, I had 2 of these put together. So it was 2 feet off the ground. But I didn't like it. It was too in your face. It felt like it was in the way. When you put that much weight on the end of something like this, it moved around a lot. And all I envisioned was going down the lake and hitting a bump and having this little system fail and the thing fly off. So I kind of bailed from that and went back to just using them as camera attachments. But the other one serves a pretty good purpose. A lot of people I've seen lately asking about how they secure their motor. Well, I had this stuff laying around. So I bought this rubber piece off of Amazon. It was a 2-pack. And all I got to do, hold on, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Probably not. So we're going to go like this. So this is my strap. You unhook that. And it just comes right out. And then it deploys. But what it is it's on a base. Let's see if I can get it off. This was a fish finder base that fit the Lowrance Elite TI5 base perfectly. So way back 2.5 years ago when I had that, it was sitting on this, and it just depended on how I wanted to do it. Most of the time it was just this into one of the bases on the boat. But now, that ain't gonna work. So, oh, shut. Get this thing in here. I forget what the orientation, right there. Turn it back to about right there. And then just to bring it back in, and just slips right in. And you noticed all of this is the coil for the transducer on the bike lock. I don't know if any of you saw that video, but that thing sucks right up. It's a non-issue. If I were going to do this again, I would do the exact same thing rather than go spend hundreds of dollars on weird attachments that some guy made in his garage and had some guy drill them out and whatnot. It's not necessary. I have one lure to catch 3 fish. It's that black and blue jig right there. I've probably caught a couple hundred fish with that since Labor Day weekend. I have a ram mount right here. A naked ram mount. On the console, absolutely a factory mount. I mean, that's every fish finder I've had, Greg, was factory mount. Like, that's the factory gimbal that comes with it. 100%. I would not. I bought the regular Panther mount. They make one that's got a 22.5 degree slant to it. I just got the flat one and put it on there, and you can kind of see, because this has a slope to it. It's not quite 22 degrees, but it's pretty close from here down to here. I put the flat one on it, then my gimbal, and then I just turn the screen where I want to see it. And I mean, honestly, 99% of the people are going to tilt that screen so it's looking almost straight up. And the quality of these screens on these newer, higher end fish finders, even when it's blazing sun out, you can see everything. Yes, Scott, I put my boat in salt water one time and took it out to the Statue of Liberty. And that's pretty much brackish. You could kind of go either way with that, but yeah, I mean, it was salt water, and it left some white spots on the boat for a couple weeks, just little white dots. But eventually it all came off. Yeah, I mean, the ram mount, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, in order to get your fish finder off, right, say it's attached to a ram mount, that's it. You're done. For me to take mine off, I basically have to do both knobs on each side of the gimbal and pull it off. It's pretty simple either way you want to do it, but the ram mount does give you that height you're looking for to get it up closer to your eyes than looking, depending on how tall you are. If you're super tall, you're 6.5 feet tall, it's a long look down to that fish finder. Even though it is 9 inches, it's still a long look. What do you mean the screen pops off, Todd? And you're not screwed, Jeff. Why are you screwed? Greg, the one going to the transom is going to be way more difficult than the one up front. You're not 6'4", Jeff. Stop lying. Does that mean I'm 6'3 1/4"? I would, I don't know, Jeff. It's a game changer. When you get those put on your boat, you're going to go, why didn't I do that right when I got them? A fireball. I didn't forget, Scott. I'm just pacing myself. It's a sprint. Excuse me. I take that back. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Oh, I forgot about that. Jeff. Todd, you're exactly right. I forgot that I haven't taken this off since I put it on. But the Garmin releases in the weirdest, to me it's weird. I didn't know if I was a big fan of it. But yeah, all you do is pop the front face of the unit off. And in fact, I should probably just do that because it is right here. Okay. So there's a little handle on the back right here. And I don't know if I'm doing this right. I haven't done it yet. Am I doing something wrong? Maybe I'm just a clown. I don't know. Todd, remind me how to do it. Oh, I'm going to give it hell. I'm going to beat this thing up. I mean, they're just giving them away now. I forgot, honestly. No, don't let Bass Pro tell you. Don't do that. I don't, yeah, I honestly, you guys, I don't think about it. Because I have a garage I back it into. But I probably should figure out how to take that off. Push down tab. Pull top of unit back. We're going to go with that. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, there it is. There she is. Thanks for the advice. You know, I probably only did that once when I took it out of the box. But yeah, I mean, that's what it leaves you with. Which, honestly, you guys, I would cover this up if you're going to park this outside in some inclement weather. The female side of things doesn't want a bunch of moisture in it. I know that sounds weird. Moisture is usually a good thing, but not with this. And you got to be very careful on this end. All the male ends are right here. And if you don't put that in there properly and you bend those, you're going to be really pissed. Now that thing turned on again. Judas Priest. Okay. So, we're going to give a huge thanks to Rick Irwin for reminding me how my fish finder works. I appreciate that. No, dude, don't put dielectric grease on your fish finder. Don't do that. I think as an electrician, I think dielectric grease is overused. Now, if I was going to run an aluminum line to, say, an oven or a washing machine, I would cake that aluminum in dielectric grease. These are copper. Male and female makeup points. You don't put anything foreign on that stuff. Trust me. What, Todd? I'm sorry. Don't settle down. Judas Priest, pop the latch. Well, no shit. I couldn't. I'm sorry, Todd. I didn't mean to make you feel left out. I just happened to see Rick Irwin's comment that really, just it looked this big when I saw it. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go give it another try. The damn thing's still turned on. It's really not reading a whole lot because it's out of the water. I have a question. There's what, 24 of you on here? Do any of you have one of those metal garages, or the dimensional garages they come out and put up on your property? No, Jeff, I just have the Lowrance Elite 9 box and the Garmin box now. I know, Todd, so was I. Why? Settle down. Where's Stephen Wolf tonight? We don't have Stephen Wolf. I think he's still upset about the election. It's only 8 o'clock. I got 4 hours left. Who's got 4 hours in them? You think we can make this disappear in 4 hours? You're right, Todd. I am watching. The boss is in the house. Trust me, she's not watching. I hear her wrangling children, yelling at the dog. I only got one boss, and that's Baby T. I'll tell you what, though. Greg Vincent's still laughing. SK, he's having a beer. Cheers. Yeah, I have to work tomorrow, but that's not for like 12 hours. There's so much time left in the day, Scott. I try my best to get the absolute most out of every day, whether it be working, having fun, talking to you guys, having a cold one. Actually, I haven't had beer since last weekend. I don't know why. I just wasn't feeling it. I got a full bottle of wine that Baby T picked up. We could turn this into a real shaker. No. Shonka. 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 It's not the name of the lure, it's the name of the company. Those guys, Mr. Miller made these. Super cool though. He made 2 different variations, one with black lettering and one with red lettering. I feel fortunate. I want oh, and for any of you guys that make your own stuff like this, you're more than welcome to bring it to the tournament and sell it. I don't care. The Capri Sun. Hey, workman, in a pinch, Capri Sun and vodka is not horrible. Oh, I see what you mean, Greg. Well, these people probably have a classic and they don't care about the heritage. And I don't blame them. I still think it's friggin' neat. I'm fairly certain if I asked this guy to make me a custom one, he probably would, but I'm probably gonna have to pay for it. I really don't know how much they cost, but yeah, reach out to them if you guys are interested. They make a lot of different variants of crankbaits that I find fascinating. A lot of cool colors. He lives by you, Greg. Real close. I will, Scott. Thank you very much. And I will. I'll reach out to you and talk about the scholarships. Granby, no, it's the Miller family, Misty Miller, and I honestly, I'm gonna F this up. It's either Scott or Steve Miller. I keep thinking Steve Miller because of the band. I saw Steve Miller live one time at the Gorge in Washington State, and he forgot about half the songs, but it was Steve Miller. Jeff is officially banned from the tournament. Jeff, if you're going to talk smack about the heritage, I'm going to have to ask you to settle down. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Jeff's concerned about horsepower, and his boat's about... I'm an old man. Look at all this gray. Or is that platinum? I'm okay being the old man. But slow and steady wins the race. It's been proven. The hat's off. It's time to party. Jeff, you said one of the funniest things, and yeah, I say Judas Priest a lot, Wendy. It's something that I learned from my grandmother. Not Rob Halford of the band Judas Priest, which I'm a huge fan of Judas Priest. But my grandmother used to say Judas Priest to things that were off or whatever. And I used to say it just to make her laugh, but I kept it going. Yeah, absolutely. Grandma used Judas Priest whenever me and my brother were raising hell. So, at any rate, shoot, guys, we're 100 minutes into this. I intended on making a 5-minute video, and look what happened. Steve Miller. It is Steve Miller. Steve, I've been talking about you all night. In fact, Steve Miller is the maker of said lure. He just popped on. If any of you people that are interested in this, Steve Miller's the guy. Oh, I've done 3.5 hours, Jeff, and that I paid for that the next day. But yeah, Steve Miller, who is Shanka Lures, which I told you guys about on Facebook. Check him out. He lives right by, ask him, Jeff. He lives right by you and Greg, somewhere in that area. I know you and Greg are real close. These people want them, Steve. They feed them. They want you. I want to come to your facility. Misty said it was okay, Steve, to show up whenever. I don't know that I'm going to do that. 3 a.m. might be out of line. I think the neighbor kid's driving by. That's the neighbor kid's dad, in fact. He's a local law officer here in Branson, Missouri. So, Steve, I've got a lot of lip from the fans tonight that you didn't make a brown one. Brown and orange for the heritage folks. And I was like, well, he probably has a classic and doesn't care about the heritage folks. No, dude, that was not a Geo Metro, but I think that car is older than a Geo. That dude nurses it. And like, hey, kudos to him, man. That's an old car. Old man lure. Do not call Big Chief. The Spook is one of the greatest topwater baits of all time. All time. Greg, that is not an old man car. Were you talking about that one? Or were you talking about that white shitbox that drove by? I was kidding. I thought it was funny. Maybe not. Who, for me, Jeff? I had my midlife crisis like 10 years ago. Steve, are you still there? Are you taking orders right now, Steve, or are you here to party? Trying to find what, Greg? A midlife crisis car? Dude, Baby T won't let me buy a Ferrari, but if your wife will, that's the one. Buy a Ferrari 458. No. That's an old... That is an old crisis. You need something Italian. A Lamborghini Huracan. With about 15,000 miles on it, you can get them for under 200 grand. That's all. Just pocket change. Yeah, so you guys, I don't know if you're looking. Oh, shit. The iPad died. So, Steve just said you could call his wife for orders. He's working. Tournament's official now. Got to start ordering them lures. Yeah, you better get your shit together, Jeff. Because right now, you're in big trouble. There are a lot of heavy hitters coming to this tournament. Some people even call them sticks. I don't understand that. Is Steve making lure? No, I think Steve's doing his other job. But yeah, guys, if you're interested in any of that, Shanka Lures on Facebook. Is that because I don't own a... No, Jeff, you own a faster boat than the Heritage. Why would you even be jealous of a Heritage Classic? I mean, other than it looks better than the Classic. I mean, that's the only thing. Well, yeah, sticks are also my golf clubs. Do you guys golf? Do any of you guys play golf? Oh, shit. We're going to make a giant mess now. These are also called sticks. These are my Titleist blades. These are fantastic. I'll tell you what, if you spend a huge amount of money on golf clubs, you'll be better, I promise. And not to rub it in, you guys, but I do have a driving range mat in my garage, or in my driveway. I launch balls into the woods. Maybe some night I'll show you guys that, if you're interested. I know a lot of you guys probably don't give a shit about golf, but I know. Joe, you want to see me hit golf balls? Uh-oh. Golf is not a waste of time, Todd. Golf is very therapeutic as well as fishing. I've been golfing for about, how old am I? 48. I've been golfing for about 35 years, 36 years. That's a long time. I don't care what you're into. It's a long time to do something. All right. I got to pull this up. The iPad took a shit, you guys. The party went on so long that the iPad died. Oh, dude, there's a golf course in Washington State called Trophy Lakes Golf and Casting Club that has world-class fish in it. Like, they have these ponds throughout the golf course where you can go fly fish, and it's a big tourist trap, what have you. Okay, here we go. Oh, shoot. They have these ponds throughout the golf course where you can go fly fish, and it's a big... All right, I'm just trying to find the comments, or the comment section, you guys. Oh, shit. I don't know if I can see him. Jeff, I fish ponds. Neosho, the golfers hate me. Golf ponds rock. I agree to playing 10. Joe Bali, would you like to have a cash game? I can't be very good. I mean, look at me. I'm overweight. Got Bass Pro Shop sweating on in a 2XL. But I'll tell you what. Joe Bali. Shit. Todd, have a great night, brother. I'll see you later. Jeff, why would you say such a thing? I'm just a hillbilly. I was so hillbilly, I just said, F it. Let's move all the shit and live in the middle of southern Missouri. What time is it, you guys? It's 8:30. I'll tell you what, let's end this. I got some work to do. I got to make that flyer for the tournament. And like I said, not this week. The last weekend of January, we're going to have our giveaway. And I talked about that earlier. It's going to be huge, and a real special thanks to the individual who provided for that. He asked that his name not be spoken, and I'm going to oblige that because it's going to be a big deal, you guys. So reach out to your friends that are interested. Let's make this as big as we can. And don't forget to subscribe and like if you haven't. I know most of you have, but the more that happens, the bigger that this stuff's going to get. This next one is not my doing. This is somebody else that gave a generous and gracious donation to make the next giveaway the biggest one we've ever done. So at any rate, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me for damn near an hour and a half. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. Check for you folks that are interested in the tournament. Check the Facebook tournament page. I'm going to update that tonight, tomorrow, somewhere in that window. And check out Shonka Lures on Facebook, SHONKA Lures, and Miller Tax Service if you're in the Missouri area and you need tax help, or you want to brand yourself as an LLC. Look them up. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy.